You were taught, you were told, you were massively brought into taking care of others and making sure everyone else is okay. You were told to share your toys. You were told to just make sure everyone else is happy and taken care of. At your birthday parties, you had to do stuff to make sure that other people got what they needed. And if you grew up in a dysfunctional family, you probably have this to the next level. Now, it could be your superpower, but left unchecked, if it goes out of whack, it's going to cause you to have burnout, to have chronic stress. And chronic stress, like I've spoken about in these other career pitfall Facebook lives, brings about adrenaline overuse, adrenaline fatigue, and it could literally lead to a clinical condition called adrenal fatigue. A lot of women who are people pleasers tend to take so much good care of others that they neglect themselves. And if you were raised in a normal household, taking care of yourself was not a priority. Taking care of others was, especially as the girl. If you were one of many girls, you all got to do this. If you were one of few girls, the burden may have been disproportionately put on you. And so many families and extended family issues and problems, oftentimes they're leaning on the women of the family to tend to family members, problems, crises. And it's unfortunately still very social dominant that women will take care of these problems. And I've seen women kill their careers because of people pleasing, both on the job, but also within the family, where either the conflict of taking care of the family is the superordinate value, or a crisis or problem in a family member has caused that career to crater and go south. Even high-performing career opportunities have been passed over. Now, Mo, if my kid's sick or if my parents are sick, I need to attend to them. Yes, but there are other ways to do it rather than cratering your career. There really are. And jobs that you stay in because you're trying to please your boss or make changes, and you keep going after it as if it's brand new, and it's not working, and you're refusing to settle up with what reality looks like. When you are a people pleaser, you sometimes can't see how it's just not working. And this, like all of the career traps I'm talking about in this series, can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars, much less the health of your own body. And I see women who are people pleasers, who are overweight, who can't sleep, who are using other ways of taking care of their stress and burnout. And frankly, if you're a people pleaser, you may put your family last if you've had years and decades of putting the people at work ahead. I know that all sounds like, well, that's preposterous, Mo. How does someone get there? We see it hundreds of times a year. I've seen it thousands of times in my years as a career coach. It is a significant problem for women. And it is almost unique to women. It's very rare that a man has this problem. I've seen it, but it's pretty rare. Although all human beings want people to like us, we want connection, and we want to feel valuable. But there's a point where your people-pleasing tendencies go overboard. And then this starts to sacrifice who you are, your time, and your boundaries. This is a real problem that could be considered, well, I just don't know how to set up boundaries. You don't have a problem setting up boundaries. What you have a problem with is overdoing the people pleasing. And the reason why you haven't been able to set up boundaries is because the people pleasing is a subconscious pattern that is running the show. And this is the problem with all of these subconscious patterns that I've been talking about this week. When they're left unchecked, when you don't self-reflect and take responsibility for what's going on in your life and your career, these subconscious programs will run the show. And when they do, You will be at deep conflict about making the right moves in your life and in your career, because it will be seen to your subconscious as a threat against your program, which technically is a threat against who you are. Now, I've talked about this nearly every single day in this series, because each of these major career traps are all significantly programmed into deeply how you view yourself and view the world. And getting out of them is a significant amount of effort. And moving into a more empowered version of you might need help. You might need experts. And you might also need to know you're not alone. And this is the value of what we offer in our Kick-Ass Workshop. It's a 12-week transformational process that we take you through, because just having a better resume and a better LinkedIn profile doesn't take care of the root of the problem. If you're a people pleaser, people are walking all over you, you're not heard in meetings, and as a matter of fact, you may not even be invited into the meetings that you ought to be at, because you may have already been shut down and marginalized, because you're overdoing it in a way that they just don't see your value at the next level. And perhaps you're so busy doing other people's jobs and filling in the gaps of other people's roles that they don't want you at the next level, because you're more valuable staying in that people-pleasing role, because no one else wants to deal with what you're dealing with. And here's the other aspect of this. You're covering up what the organization truly needs. When you're in this trap of people-pleasing, you literally are camouflaging some of the true competency problems and staffing problems that your company may have. But since you're overdoing it, they don't feel the pinch. I know. I've seen it happen. And I've also seen people who are people pleasers who are not only taking care of the problems and filling in the gaps, they're actually helping other people look better than they truly are. Is that you? Is that who you are? And I want to thank everyone who's joining me today and totally rocking on this topic. It is a big one for women. And welcome to all the women who are currently my clients or who have graduated from my workshop and know that this problem is something that they have been addressing. And you know what? The deep problems I'm covering this week, the 6 major career traps, are things that are deeply encoded in who we are as women in the world. So it's not just that simple, but getting coaching to up-level and lift you past this, to have it stop being a problem that's causing you not to get promoted, that's causing you to be invisible at work, that's causing you to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in your career and in your earnings, which is robbing your family and your future. Your people-pleasing is not helping anyone. It is backfiring. You feel put out, burnt out. You feel like you're at the end of your rope. You don't even have energy to cook dinner or do the people-pleasing that you want to do at home because you have nothing left. And when you wake up in the morning, you're just depleted. And I won't say dead, but inside, you're just not happy with yourself. And you don't know how to get out of this rut. And it's a treadmill that you're running on that you can't possibly fix by staying on it. You can't people please your way out of being a people pleasing person with a problem. You can't do it. And you can't think through this. You've got to solve it at the soul level, which is the only level that gets into the programming and into the conditioning and into the subconscious power. Because all of us function at the subconscious level by default. None of us are living up in our conscious level most of the days. We're living in our subconscious level. There's a default mechanism of our program and patterning. And if that isn't programmed to your most empowered version of you, you're going to default to the disempowering programs. And that tends to be what people say, oh, I'm just a people pleaser. Oh, I'm just this. Oh, I'm just that. Shrugging it off like it's something that you don't have control over. And if there's one word that comes through all of these career traps, it's taking radical self-responsibility. You don't have to be a people pleaser to be happy, satisfied, and successful. You don't have to be a people pleaser to do a good job, to be seen as successful, and to move yourself up. You don't have to be a people pleaser ever. You have to be a you pleaser. And when you are, like the airlines, put your oxygen mask on first, when you take care of you, you're actually able to do a better job of taking care of the other people and coworkers and the boss that you have to satisfy. If you're people pleasing, you're going too far and you're not probably focusing on the things that matter the most. You're stuck and it's costing you. It's costing you dearly. And it is something that has to get changed. It has to get changed in real time so that your career can go in the right direction and your soul can get resurrected and feel good, and so that your body can relax and not be so burnt out and stressed out. Your physical body takes a toll when you're a people pleaser, doesn't it? If you're a people pleaser, you know exactly what it feels like to be just worn thin, worn to the end of your nervous system, so depleted you can't even think straight at the end of the night. And you drag yourself to bed and you're so tired, but your brain can't shut off. That's the stuff that happens when that subconscious programming of being a people pleaser is dominating the day. And I know what it feels like. It's a common problem for women. It's a common problem for professional, educated women who have been told all of our lives, if we just work hard, we'll get seen. If we just do a good job, we'll get seen. And you know what? It works in school. When you get good grades, you get advanced. When you do well in school, you get an honor society or a pin or this type of recognition. That pretty much ceases. In the first 5 years of your career, that's pretty much the end of the road on working hard and pleasing others by your work and then having that get you ahead. That stops working, because the next level of advancement and success is an inner game of you grabbing your power and not looking at the outside world for validation of who you are and what you bring to the table. You have to own your power and own your truth. And when you do, your career will zoom ahead. But most women do not know how to get into this gear. And that's one of the things that we are absolutely committed to in our 12-week workshop. Transforming how you approach the world, transforming who you are and bringing you to your best self, bringing you to the most empowered version of you, means that you will lick this people pleasing once and for all. It sort of gets to be a sickness, and it doesn't have to be. But most of the women we work with don't know how to fix it on their own. And I understand it's not your fault. But it is if you're hearing this message and doing nothing about it and staying in that rut. You're literally sacrificing more of a successful future. You're literally sacrificing the time you could be spending with friends and family because you're depleted and people pleasing in the wrong avenue. Time to stop this and time to get the proper focus and help so that you can direct your soul, your best version of you, and your career in an upward manner and truly take care of family and future and yourself. Because when you bring your soul back to life, when you align with yourself, you don't people please in a disempowered way. You don't people please in a way that takes from you. You function in the world in a way that's empowering and helpful to yourself and to others. And it feels so much different. It feels so good. And it literally actually fills you back in rather than depleting. It's time to take charge of that massive career trap. It's a massive trap. So I just want to mention a few things on this before I let go of this topic. You know, Abe Lincoln said you can please some of the people some of the time, but you cannot please all of the people all of the time. Let's take good advice from that wonderful president. And let's also realize, and you need to make this decision, who the people are who are important to please, and not to work your butt off to please them, but to make sure that you're spending time and taking action on those activities and being that version of you that's going to put your efforts in the right column. You know, one of the things that we see all the time with women who have this problem of people pleasing is that you're afraid not to be loved. And that's a very basic human need, is to be loved. And as an adult, you actually have choices about how you put your energy and how you receive love and feel love. Don't do it by default. Don't do it as a people pleaser. Because chances are you're already losing the connection to the people who you want to love and please by this, let's call it a maladaptive program that was put inside of you from very early on. As young girls and women, we're told to please others. We're told to share our toys. We're told to make sure that Johnny feels good about something before we speak up in a meeting or talk about something in math class, before we raise our hand, etc. It's ingrained in us, and we have to move out of that. That subconscious programming will grab you by the neck. And if you're stuck in people pleasing, you have to get out of it. So one of the ways to do that is by really getting truthful with what's going on in your career and in your life by booking a complimentary career clarity call. It's mofall.com/live clarity. You can click on one of the links down below to get started. We take a complimentary career clarity call for you because it's a special time where we can help you deconstruct what's truly going on and what the problem really is. And if we can help you, and if you're coachable and ready to rock and roll and make this change a priority, we'll invite you into the workshop, tell you exactly how we do this, and explain how and why it's going to work for you. This is an important, life-changing decision. So we'd like women to really show up for their complimentary career clarity call. Don't just be interested. Be committed to changing your life for once and for all. Be committed to pleasing yourself as a switch to this people pleasing that's maybe gotten well out of control and cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. These major career traps are for real problems that can be fixed with the right expertise and with the right environment, which is what we have in our 12-week kick-ass workshop. So come along and let's take care of this problem once and for all. Let's drag you out of this trap and get you taken care of on an empowering path. This is Coach Mo Fall. Book your complimentary career clarity call where we can sort it out, get to the bottom of it, see what's really going on, and if we can help you, we'll point you in that direction. If not, we'll point you in another direction, and that's mofall.com/live clarity. Let's get this rocking and rolling. Your people pleasing is not pleasing anyone, much less it's hurting you. Let's take care of this, and let's take your career to the next level so you can actually be the woman you want to be for the people who are important to you, not just pleasing everyone and burning out. Let's take this major career trap and sort it aside and take radical responsibility for who you are and what you want in your life and in your world. I'll see you on the next episode. And if this is the problem, if this is the career trap that's resonating, book your complimentary career clarity call. Take that action to move yourself in a direction more empowering and more successful for yourself. It's mofall.com/live clarity. And let's get things rolling in that direction. This is Coach Mo Fall, mofall.com, everything career and bringing your soul back to life. That's our special magic formula. It feels so good to do that. Talk to you next time. This is Coach Mo Fall, founder, creator of the Kick-Ass Career 12-week transformational workshop where we bring your soul back to life. Let's do that for you too. See you on the next episode.